and they're hard loving people. So like, when it comes to anything, when it comes to being close or even damn, she is throwing that ass around. And then, y'all saw that? Anyway,
I didn't. I'm sorry. I wasn't able to catch it. You would have said it a little bit earlier. It's okay.
Okay. Huh? What are you talking
about? So you were talking about your family, hard loving.
Fuck them, man. I don't even want to talk about that. I'm sorry. Like, I have a strange, like, I don't get along with my family. Let me just say this. I went through a lot of shit with them. My mom and I were always good, until I was like 9. And my mom was an anesthesiologist. I always went to like the best schools. I always went to a private school. I was always like, even though I was raised on Davison and Livernois, okay, in the good homes, in like this beautiful, like, it's a 5-bedroom home, like just huge. And my mom was a dog collector, so we've always had money, like, but we just always stayed in the hood, right? And she, like, her being an anesthesiologist, she wasn't really able to be there for me that much, but when she was, she made sure she was a great parent. And I'll never forget those moments. Like, beautiful. Like, I would never trade my childhood. I loved my childhood. And then I turned 9, and then she got multiple sclerosis. And that was the very first time I think I was really, like, cognizant of my mother. Because I was 9. So, like, before that age, you're kind of just, like, on this cloud of, like, my mommy, my daddy, like, And then you start to see this person, right? Like, you start to see them. Just a little bit, but you start to see it. And it just happened at a weird time where she'd also gotten multiple sclerosis. And then I got to see the selfish side of her. I got to see the person that has never existed to me before, like on 1,000.
Well, that probably brought on a lot of stress and confusion for her as well.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So
There's no doubting that. Like, to go from doing what you do every day to all of a sudden, like, falling out in the on-call room, waking up in the emergency room and being told that you will never work again. I applaud you for even keeping going. Like, I understand how disappointing that is, how depressed she was, and then you're talking about somebody who she ended up being put on like 12 different medications, and then she had to have a bypass surgery, and because she started to blow up from all the medication. She was already pretty big, but she started to blow up even more to where she was like having heart murmurs. So she had to have the bypass to bring her down. So you're like losing weight, on a bunch of medication, you still got a kid to take care of, but you have no career, and now you're on disability, and everything is just like, from underneath you. At the time, I didn't understand that. Now I do. And I've known that for years, but like, I think with me recognizing that, I think I've also held resentment from my mother, because here we are, you're still grieving. It's 15 years later, and you're still grieving. You have not been able to be my mother in the same way that we were before. And I don't expect that. You're in a different position, but there were times, especially when I was 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, during my adolescence, where I really needed a woman. I don't have, like, and we're talking about my birth mom here, and we're talking about everything, so transparently, I don't, even having a mother figure is rare for me, because I only have that certain amount, like that length of the time where things were like really good, you know, because after that it really became the Stephanie show, and I went through a lot of shit. Like,
so you kind of had to grow up really fast.
I really grew up by myself. Like, I really did. Like, yeah. Don't make me emotional.
That's why she's so strong.
Don't make me emotional. Because
really, I mean, you had a lot of different forces that you had to kind of learn from yourself.
Yeah.
So how how did your mom like talk to you about being adopted, race?
Doesn't exist.
Okay.
Our family is not on that level. We have never been open with each other on that level. We only share when we're angry with each other. We only share when somebody is at fault. There is no conversation. I think the only real conversation my mom and I had was when I had Cammie. I have a 7-year-old. Which is ironic in the whole grand scheme of things, because I had her when I was 18. And there I was. You can either put her up for adoption or you can keep this girl. Because I was 6 months when I found out. So I was 25 weeks, which is weird, I know, but it was. And of course, I was like, I'm keeping this girl. So the only honest question that conversation my mom and I had was about that. Before then, it's just service level shit, you know? And that's because she doesn't want to go too deep into certain things. Like she doesn't want to. Like, it might be a Capricorn thing, you know, but like trying to talk to this woman and really trying to get her to be honest with me about where she's at in life without making it a dismal thing, like this abysmal, I'm so depressed, I can't do it. Like, instead of just talking it through and coming up with solutions, she just makes everything very negative, which is how we got to our point where we just call and check up on each other, or I call when I want something, you know. Yeah. Did I answer the question?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just kind of going and seeing where things go. So, okay, so do you consciously think about being mixed? Is that something that you think about on a daily basis, or are you just here being? Like, how does it affect you in your everyday life now that you're a full-grown adult, doing your thing, hustling?
You know,
does it give you advantages?
Until somebody asks me, I'm just black. Like, I'm out here black. Okay. Like, I understand, you know, about being mixed, which I am, but I think I only really recognize the black side, especially because I know that I'm racially ambiguous. For sure. Like, I know for a fact I look like every fucking thing that I could look like. On
a physical level, for sure.
But I think I mostly identify with the black side of me, and that's how I go out into whatever it is that I do. I know that I'm the light-skinned black, you know what I mean? Like, I know that we have separate privileges from, and honestly, we have separate privileges from darker-skinned people, but I still consider myself black. So I don't really know. Until somebody asks me, what am I mixed with, it really doesn't snap in my head, you know. But I think
I've had that, though. I have that same experience where it's like, I think that's why this even exists, because I really didn't not realize, but I'm not that in touch, I feel like, with my Armenian side. And so it's something that I definitely want to explore more. Do you have that same kind of like urge? Yeah.
I went to when I was younger and everything was happening with my mom, I begged her to go to an Arabic school, which is Star International Academy. It's in Dearborn.
You went there? Oh, you lived over there. Okay. You live in Dearborn.
Lord have mercy. Hey, Rico. Anyway, so I went there for 2 years. I begged her. Like, it was either that or go back to Jesu, which I didn't want to go back to Jesu because I had a lot of, like, I was a really promiscuous young lady in 5th grade. So, like, you know. So, like, I mean, that was the year where shit was going down with my mom. So I was
like 10.
Yeah. So I was...
You're, like, learning about...
I was doing the fuck I wanted to do. With no regard for anybody, because nobody gave a fuck about me. So, I was like, I don't know. After I had that whole year there, I was like, Ma, listen, man. My grandma and I found a school. I want to go. Like, I want to get in touch with my Arabic side. I want to learn Arabic. I had all these ambitions, right?
That's a really profound...
I know. As a 12, 13-year-old.
Yeah.
I know, right? I got there, and I said, fuck all that shit. I'm just here. But you gotta understand something. Here's what messed me up. Here's why I got messed up. I wasn't really at that age where I paid attention to myself on that level of culture, but not like I did. I knew I was Arabic. I knew I had an Arabic side that I wanted to learn about, but I'll get to it. You'll understand. So I got there. I'm trying to learn Arabic. I'm trying to be around all these Muslims, and there are black Muslims that are there. That's cool, but I'm not Muslim. I'm just in there, in there as me. Mm-hmm. And I found out while I was there that I was more so regarded as a black person. I was just black. I was just black at this school.
So being at this Arabic school,
that where I was trying to be in touch with my Arabic side, they were like, "Oh no, you a nigga." You know what I mean? And then I started getting into it with my Arabic teacher.
Wait, because your teacher?
No, she didn't know. But I just like trying to learn Arabic from her. On top of everything else, like she thought I was fucking stupid. Like, yeah, she was fucking stupid. So I got into her a couple times. I had to have sit down with the principal, and I was just over it. Like, after 7th grade, I was over it. And then I went back to JSU.
So that's interesting. I think that that's a really important part of the journey, right? It's like the moment where you realize race and everything that comes along. Thank you. But that moment when you realize like race and you're like, dang, I'm like these two different things, but they're not accepting me and they're not accepting me. Mm-hmm. Like that was your moment where you were like, mm-hmm. But okay, so you had that from your Arabic side, right? From this Arabic community that was like, I guess not really welcoming you or not really embracing.
You about to ask me how the black community regards me? The black community regards Lisa Posey as
PSA.
We, the people of the black community, would like to trade in Lisa for seriously. The black community really does regard me as like something else. Anytime I'm around anybody, what do you mix with? Because you're not just black. You Mexican? One day I just told somebody I was just black. And they were just like, no, you're not. No, you're not. Like, why can't I be? Why can't I be? Seriously. Why? What's wrong with y'all? I guess that's what makes me mad, so. Honestly, until we just had this, like, whole conversation, I haven't really thought about how we are a separate thing. Like, mixed people.
What do you mean?
Like, mixed people.
What do you mean? Like, we're a separate thing?
Like, we have separate experiences. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So you never, this whole time she knew about Black and Forth, so you obviously never watched the episode. I'm just like, but what do you mean you never thought that we had a separate experience?
No. Yes, I realize we have a different experience, but I never realized that we have that experience where there's one side of it that, and I didn't realize it for me. Let me just say that. I've never sat here reflected that on.
Yeah. Because you never really, it seems like you never really, talked a lot, right? Like, your family. Whereas, my family wants to talk about everything all the time. We want to explore. We want to analyze. And I think that's why I'm such a...
You analyzing those glasses? Y'all sit
This
down.
is why I can analyze things.
No, I haven't, actually. I am genuine. I have had conversations like this, but I have not like this. Mm-hmm. But I've had those genuine conversations about race, but I don't think I've ever really reflected on my experience and compared. Because I don't like to do the whole thing where I compare myself to anybody else, and that's on any level. That's for anything, honestly. So even with my experience, I don't consider my experience in my life like anybody else's. So when it came down to race and being mixed, that experience, this is the first time I've ever really put the two and two together and let them coexist, commingle.
What I realized too is my dad talked to me a lot about race as a young child. Okay. Being a black man, he kept it so real from a very young age about what it means to be black, what it means to be a black man, and so that's always been such a theme in my life. I've always not been able to ignore my race, and almost just I constantly think about it, and I think that that just comes from my upbringing and how, just kind of like, my dad just always talked to me. I just know that my dad always talked to me about being black and what that meant. And my mom, being Armenian, talks to me a lot about being black as well. In that she is aware of what it means for my dad and what that would mean for me. And she was in the black community. Like, everything I did was really in the black community. And it's weird because one of my friends' little, like, siblings just realized, like, they're like, oh, your mom's not black? Like, no, she's not black. I feel like I've had to have that, like, same realization at one point too. Like, my mom's Armenian, even though I knew, it's still like.
I feel like you've always known because your hair texture has been different than anybody else's that you've been around.
You know what? That's important. Hair texture is so important.
I know it is.
It's so important because that is what's telling, right? That is like, hair is so important to our culture.
So important.
And
honestly.
that honestly is what it is, I feel like.
I'm saying,
to keep it so simple.
I'm pretty sure when you were younger, when you were hanging out with your friends, somebody was like, damn, top of those fucking edges. You know, they say it like that.
I didn't lay my edges like that.
But look at them edges.
No.
My hair is curly. I don't embrace short curly, Lisa. If I was sitting right next to you with this curly fro right now, oh my God.
It would be giving everybody life?
No, it would not. I really want to compare myself to somebody else that has a curly fro. But it's not coming to me right now. Who do we say the last time I had a curly fro?
No, I would not say it.
Do it.
I will not say
please,
it.
Please.
What's the painter guy that you like
oh
so
my
much?
God! The dude who paints Bob
Ross.
Bob Ross.
She called herself
I
Bob
look like
Ross,
fucking
y'all.
Bob Ross when I curl my hair. I look like Bob Ross when my hair is curly. So I don't, because it's short because I cut it. So I'm good. When it grows back, you'll see it in full effect.
But it's like a sexy ass Bob Ross.
It's absolutely not a sexy ass Bob Ross. Who the fuck? Who? Especially when I'm barefaced. Who the hell is that?
You do not look like Bob Ross.
And you've seen it.
Hilarious.
You've seen it.
It's just because your hair was kind of red at the time.
It still is.
It's like a blonde.
Babe, it doesn't matter because when I throw it into
know.
curls, I still look like Bob Ross. I have a podcast. It's called Adulting the Podcast.
No, she has a podcast.
Which she already said it. She said it in the beginning. But what I wanted to say is that I would really like if you guys follow and listen.
Yes.
We are on iTunes and SoundCloud at Adulting the Podcast.
And follow her on Instagram.
We have a live stream every Sunday in this studio right here, in the Foundation studio, which is why we're here and recording on a Sunday. Oh my God, the irony. And we put out episodes on Wednesdays. So, yeah. Follow us. Subscribe. Thanks.
Thank you guys so much. Subscribe to Black and Forth. Follow, like, share. See you next time. Love you.